Worship is a response to who God is. Like, you see him, and our human response is to worship him, to glorify him, to love him. It is a response to what we see.
It's not about what can God do for me, what can God do in my life, or whatever, but it's how can I praise God, how can I honor him. I love those aspects of musical worship to God, and I don't know, I just feel like it helps express what I want to express to God sometimes when it's hard to know the words.
And I think something spiritual happens when you sing, and like in the music, like I think something happens in the spiritual realm, and there's like a connection that happens. So my favorite thing about worship is the connection that I get, and that I get to give my love back. Because worship is to give him love. Like, worship is not just like, come and give me, you know? Worship is like, I want to give you. And I want to give you love. I want to love on you. I want to honor you. I want to praise you.
Worship is a whole of our life expression, both of service to the Lord and work, as well as the things we more think about worship, and that would be, you know, singing, praising God, praying. Really, the roots of it in the Hebrew Bible, the word avoda is a Hebrew word, and it means service, work, and worship. So not only when we're singing to him or praying to him, but also when we're making the world a better place, when we're joining him in making all things new or restoring things. So if we're with God in that, that is a place of God being present, us being with him, and us really being able to worship through what we're doing. So I think all of that is worship.
In worshiping God is also a choice. Like, sometimes I just don't feel like worshiping God, you know? And I have to make a choice of like, do I sing this song because it's just right to sing, or do I sing this song and proclaim over my life that this is something that I want to believe for the future? And maybe it will take a long time. Sometimes it takes a long time for me to believe, you know? But I think in those moments of proclaiming truth over yourself and choosing to worship, it will have an effect in the future on how you will see God, and it will affect your relationship with him in the future.
But one thing God's shown me is that he's always worthy of worship. That is something that gives me comfort and helps me to continue to press in and to worship Jesus.
Suffering can either draw you away from God, or suffering can either draw you close. And you see David suffered so much in the Bible. And like, his reaction was, I need you. I am desperate. I am broken. I am nothing. God draws near to the brokenhearted. Like, it does something to God when we're broken. If I choose to take my suffering to God and say like, I don't understand this, but I'm choosing to come close to you again. And it's like the same of worshiping and proclaiming, like, I've experienced all these hardships in my life. I do not understand why, but I'm willing to sing that you're faithful, even though that I don't believe it, trusting that I will believe it in a year's time. And if you use worship as a way to draw near to God in moments of suffering, I really believe God will meet you. Read through the people suffering in the Bible. So many people suffered. And you see the result of them going to the Lord instead and God blessing them.
We were made to worship God. If we worship other things, that distorts both us and the world that God has made. So perhaps the question is less, why is worship important? But why is it important that we worship the right thing? God is glorified as we are fully who we are. Being fully who we are is a costly thing. And worshipping well is fullness of life. And so pursuing that fullness of life for all things is hard. That is a lifelong work, deeply seeking to understand, seeking revelation from God, and then prayerfully pursuing that fullness of life. I hope in our enthusiasm that we can settle for less than that.
Even when you see all throughout the Bible, from like the beginning in the Garden of Eden, like the whole God's purpose was to be close to us. Like he walked in the Garden of Eden. He spoke to Adam and Eve.
I think it's really easy to complicate our relationship with God or how we worship Him. And I believe the simplest form of what you could call prayer or worship is, in that way, is it's a conversation with God. It's an interaction with Him.
And I think it's actually our real, genuine human calling, our vocation, what we're created for, is to worship God.